Alright, the greatness of old kids shows. Before this video even starts, Space Tune. If any of y'all know what that is, you are goated, bro.
Every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you meet.
Ah, babies. Who doesn't love them? Oh, not me, but that's only because I'm grown.
It's weird how at a young age, content is like, it changes every year. Like, what you're watching when you're 1 year old is different to what you're watching at 2 years old. And as someone who's had like younger siblings or like younger people in the family, bro, up until you're 1 year old, you shouldn't have an iPad or like TV in the first place. Kids think when you go peekaboo that you genuinely disappear. Like, these people, their brain is so malleable, they should not be watching slop on the TV. But like, for example, 3 years old to 4 years old, you go from Johnny to Bluey. Bro, Bluey is taking over these kids' minds, like actual propaganda. They see a Bluey toilet paper roll and they go crazy. And I spent a large portion of my childhood, the childhood that I spent watching TV, not my full childhood, but you know, at a certain age you just quit and start watching YouTube. And for me, it was PewDiePie. But back when I used to watch TV, bro, Cartoon Network was the GOAT, G. Like, stop playing with me. Gumball, when Gumball would come on, you would go crazy. Adventure Time, I never really caught on. It was just so random to me. Adventure Time is sort of like a show you watch when you're a bit older. But I think Gumball is like actually for all ages. Go-to TV show. And then at like after 10 p.m. they would put on like the adult shows. By adult shows, it would just be like adult graphic anime. Bro, that was the most goated shit ever, gang. Every episode there would be like hot girls in the sauna or the, what's it called, the spring, the hot spring. Yeah, 8-year-old me loved that shit, bro.
Yeah, the only time when I liked babies was during the time when I was inside one. Wait. That's not what I meant. That sounds crazy. What I meant was when I was a literal baby myself. Like, we've all been inside babies before.
That's not how you say that, bro. Like, you knew what you were doing. Damn, bro, this shit would not fly nowadays. This is how you know this video is kind of old.
Wait, hold on. That's not what I meant. When you're a baby, you don't gotta worry about nothing. Someone's already feeding you, bathing you, strolling you around on the street, cleaning the doodle out your pants. You never have any responsibilities for yourself.
Yeah, but the problem is you don't realize how good you have it. That's the thing. Like, you gotta like compare. Like, if you've never been at the bottom, you will never realize how good it is to be at the top. And I'm the top here is being a child, by the way, like having your diapers changed for you. But like, goddamn, like, it's never been so true, gang. Like, children take it for granted. We all like, oh, I want to leave school and become an adult. No, you don't. No, you do not. Trust me.
Baby is the new 80. It's awesome. And since we were babies, when we weren't sleeping or swallowing the nearest lethal object, we were playing with toys or watching the preschool shows our parents put on the TV. You know, they changed it to the children's channels, PBS, TBS, CBS, put it on.
I was always against like kids just, parents just giving their kids the iPad and telling them to like fuck off. But to be honest with you, as you grow up, and especially if you have multiple kids, bro, like taking care of a kid full time is not easy. Like, sometimes you need a break, and it's so easy to just give them the iPad and be like, yo, go watch something for 2 hours. Try to make it educational, but really we don't give a fuck. Who's that Miss Rachel? Bro, Miss Rachel is printing. She is sat on bank. Like, people that make content for kids, because you gotta realize they're brain dead, bro. If any of you had a younger sibling, they've been watching the same video for the last 2 years, twin. Like, genuinely printing. Baby Shark is like sat on like a gold mine.
The show is for us toddlers. Well, my parents didn't really do that. I would just watch whatever my siblings were watching, which was Cartoon Network and Disney Channel 99% of the time. And
back when Jake Paul was on Disney Channel, I was never a Disney Channel type of guy, which thank God, bro. I know I would have like blue hair right now and be hella fruity. I'm just kidding. There's nothing wrong with blue hair and being fruity.
Whatever my dad was watching. And he was not watching the most baby-friendly stuff. Like, literally, both me and my dad would fall asleep watching Friday the 13th or something on Showtime. Then at 4 a.m., I'd wake up to Showtime playing straight up corn on the channel. Not even a scene. Like, it's just a straight up corn movie. And I just stared at it. My balls were still in my stomach, so I ain't feel nothing. But when watching it,
thank God this is a shared experience, bro. Like, when you stay up too late and starts putting on like the adult shows, and there's like hella like, not sex scenes, but everyone's like barely have any clothes on, naked. Like, as a kid, you didn't even know what it was, but you just liked looking at it. Like, is that just me? There's no way it was just me, bro. Like, you didn't even know what it was, but just looking at it gave you like you couldn't look away sort of thing. When was y'all's first time gooning, bro? Yo, mine was pretty early. I'd say mine was pretty standard. Like, I think mine was like dead on average. I'd say maybe like 11. 11's when the first time I found out about it. And I remember what my first exact Google search was when I learned how to take off the safety search, because my parents had hella stuff on the Wi-Fi. The VPN method that came later, bro. But I remember what my first search was. I'm not gonna share it, bro. It wasn't something crazy, but it's just like, Batman will have to come over here and take it out of me, bro.
I felt like a industry baby, if you catch my drift. In short, I ain't watched that many kid shows. But when I did, I was watching what every every other baby was watching. While babies nowadays are looking at their Coco Melon, we Gen Ziggers was watching classics. Classics in the making. The children's programming from back in the day.
Ooh, I've handed this takeover before. Handed this takeover. I genuinely can't speak English. But I've said this before, but kids shows where they had adults dressed in like costumes were so weird. I never messed with them at all. Teletubbies, the night garden. Oh my god, the night garden was nightmare fuel, bro. Genuinely terrifying. I did mess with TV shows that were made using clay though, like Shaun the Sheep and the one with like that one guy who likes carrots, I think it was. The one that looks like Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah, those were like alright. But honestly, what always was the best was cartoons, bro. Cartoons can't be topped. And then it's anime. Anime's the goal, obviously, but it's like cartoons come beforehand. As in second place.
Our babyhoods were some of the greatest, educating us kids on valuable lessons like go brush your teeth or don't be an ass. And I wanted to use the Wayback Machine and reminisce on the very simple times of watching baby shows, talk on how some of them were great and how some of them were the back door to my nightmares. But I'm gonna save that for the end. I'm gonna start this off with a channel that we're all familiar with, Disney.
Yo, if none of you watched Beyblades as a kid, don't talk to me. Like, if you didn't have a Beyblades era or you wanted the latest Beyblade that cost 30 quid because they knew little Jimmy's like brain dead, like we're not the same type of people. We're incompatible, bro. That one Byakugan, I think it was. No, not the Byakugan, bro. That's from fucking Naruto. It's where they threw those little like ball things. They threw them and then they like transformed a little bit into like monsters. Oh my god. Slugterra. Oh, yo, this is, my mind is working at full capacity right now, bro. Slugterra was goated.
Junior. Now, I'm not gonna show that much footage because Disney sucks, but I remember when this channel became a thing. Like, I was like around 8 years old enough to realize the meaning of my existence, but not old enough to have common sense, so I still needed this educational channels. But honestly, thinking about it right now, I don't think I ever watched a show to be educated before. I for real watched a lot of kids' education shows back then, and I don't think I've learned a single thing from it.
No, you never do. The reason it's educational is for the parents. Like, it's not even for the kids. So the parents look at it and go, this is better than the trash they were watching beforehand. At least this isn't, like, acid to their brain. It's not good for them, but at least it won't, like, kill all their brain cells. Like, I genuinely, like, I wouldn't say it's worse than drugs, but, like, might be a little better than like Skibbity Toilet. I'm obviously kidding, okay? Do not do heroin, like, I guess.
Hear them. They were teaching us stuff that we already learned at school. Why the hell I need to repeat it at me? That's why back then I barely watched kids shows that would ask you a question and wait.
Bro, what was this fuck-ass TV show? Like, I remember that being played all the time. Like, can you get that garbage out of here, bro? Like, could you not just play SpongeBob and Gumball on repeat? Like, I hate this shit. They used to do on the channels, like, periods of time where they would have, like, marathons of TV shows. Bro, it was either the best thing or the worst thing ever, because they'd either have a marathon of, like, some cheap-ass IP they bought because no one wants to watch that garbage, or they'd have straight gas Gumball for 3 days. But what was that one? Was it an anime or was it a cartoon where they had like footballers and they had like abilities? They would do this and like there would be like a triangle. Yo, I could barely remember that show, but it was so gas. They would go like above. It wasn't Inzumi 11. It wasn't an anime. I think it was a cartoon, but it was just so gas.
20 years for you to answer. It ruins my immersion of the show. I get less and less attached to the show when they hit me with fourth wall breaks. You ain't supposed to know I'm here. Like, who are you talking to? And after waiting 80 years of them just...
Yo, Dora's the queen. Yeah, Dora's the queen of this shit, bro. Deadpool came after Dora. Dora's really like the what's it called? The Inception? What was the first chapter of the Bible? The Genesis.
Staring at you, waiting for you to answer. They just assume your answer anyway. So why'd you ask me in the first place? Wasted my time. I had goals as a kid. I had stuff to do. And this show is just wasting my time.
Bro, even as a kid, I was never like repeating after them. Like, I was always a bit smarter than that. Like, I was never a pleb. I left that for the other fourth graders. 4-year-olds, not fourth graders. Fourth graders are like 9 years old, bro. If you're repeating after Dora at the big 9 years old, like, what are you doing, gang? Straight to the adoption center.
Anyway, I forgot Disney Junior. There were a few shows I used to always watch. I remember watching Big Bear and the Big Blue House sometimes. Honestly, this show kind of scared me as a kid because the moon, it reminded me of that molester moon emoji. And that's the most I remember from the show. And I sadly wasn't a Wiggles guy either. But I heard a bunch of songs from them. And
who was a Wiggles guy? This is like the equivalent of Mr. Maker in the UK, bro. Get that shit out of here, gang. Like, he used to tell you like, oh, how to make a paper airplane. And then he'd bring in like heavy machinery and like tractors. Like, how am I meant to follow along, bro? Like, all we have at home is like a pen and a paper, maybe, if I can find both of them. I just never followed along, and I just didn't like him. He made me uncomfortable with his little spiky hair. Like, you're 35 years old, gang. Like, you got the haircut from Sis versus Bro. Like, what are you doing? We all wanted that spiky hair twin, but I genuinely looked like a punk rock star with that shit. It did not come out the way I wanted it to.
Not gonna lie, they're pretty great. I've heard a bunch of songs from them, and after hearing them, I can tell you that this is one of the greatest bands of this generation, of any generation. Every song from them makes you hype and go crazy. They're basically the Beatles if they were good. There was also Special Agent Oso, and really the only reason I attempted to watch this show was because Mr. Mosby was playing the wolf on the show, fulfilling my fantasies I had about him, so. But none of those shows were the main shows. The big three of my Disney Junior experience was Handy Manny, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and Little Einsteins.
Yo, this guy, we would not be friends, gang. You are a weirdo. What the fuck are these three shows? Like, this says so much about you. The shows you liked as a little kid, oh my god, that should be the first question I ask either a date or just a person, an acquaintance. Because this is how I know if I should really be messing with you. Like, you are a psychopath. What are these three booty cheeks ass flipping shows? Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? Yo, the door is that way, bro. Like, it actually is that way, bro. Like, leave. What are you talking about?
Not Doc McStuffins. She ain't no real doctor. She can't give me my BBL. Or Sophia the First. That show's for Atlanta niggas. We all know the deal with Handy Manny. You know, Mexican dude with talking tools that can fix anything. From a boat to a chair to your accident, you name it, we fix it. The characters were fun too. You know, there was this guy who was a complete loser. He had no hairline. He lived with his cat. He was always the butt of the joke. Never had any bitches. Easily the most relatable character on the show. I also remember them adding this new character. It was a flashlight. He only spoke Minion.
Bro, who your favorite character in the TV show actually says even more about you. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, if your favorite character is the blue guy, like you are under the age of 12. As you grow up, it slowly shifts towards Michelangelo or like any of the other characters. If you like the red guy, if the red guy is your favorite, I don't want to know you, bro. Like, you're in prison, gang. That guy would just like rage at everything. Like, there was nothing lovable about the character, gang. But Michelangelo is the GOAT. Teen Titans, who's the GOAT of that, bro? I used to say Robin, and then like, bro, low-key, like, Beast Boy is too generic. Everyone says Beast Boy is their favorite, but it's low-key true. I'd actually say Starfire. Like, I think she's the most unique character. Or Cyborg. I like Cyborg.
I don't remember what language he spoke. But they was adorable. Every time they were on screen, they was just like cute like a minion. Then the main man, Manny himself, just being a helpful, handsome guy. He had a girlfriend, at least I think that was his girlfriend. He always had everybody on his back. He was such a Chad. He was such a handsome man. He's just a dandy guy. I like him. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, an automatic classic for the opening and ending songs alone. You know that song's M-I-C-K-E-Y, M-O-U-S-C. Oh man, makes my balls hot. Especially that hot diggity dog. Look at Goofy go. Do I need to say more? The only thing I remember this show messing up on was when they gave Toodles a face and a personality. Now he can talk and he can like communicate with us. I don't want this, man. He don't need to speak, bro. It's weird. Like, look at him. He look creepy. Like, if he could speak the whole time, then
yeah, I'm like, there's vomit coming up my throat right now. Like, why are we talking about Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? Who was watching this shit, bro? Thank God I didn't have Disney Channel when I was a little kid, because you had to pay extra for that and we weren't paying for shit. I think we deadass had like this was like a lot more common in the Middle East, so like, don't come after me. Everyone has this. We had like a pirated. I think we did have a subscription, but like not everything was available on that. So you'd like go downstairs to like the mechanic shop, not the mechanic shop, just the like the technology shop, and you'd buy this like hacked router that works over Wi-Fi. It was called like a Spider or a Tiger. I think those are the two brands. It would just unlock everything for you. Like, half the channels don't work, most of them don't work, but like the ones that do work, CN, NBC3, Disney Channel, Nickelodeon might work if you're lucky, bro. If you got like the good batch, but flipping Disney Channel, who was watching this? Thank God this wasn't there.
Why didn't he say anything before? He's plotting something, I know it. And then there was Little Einsteins. I just loved it because I'm a bit of a musician myself, you know. I can play piano, trumpet, the recorder, the Triforce.
Ooh, the Ordinary shows. That what it was called? That was alright. Yo, Adventure Time was gas. Don't get me wrong. Adventure Time was good. Like, you appreciate it more as you grow up, though. I think if you're too young, you can't really appreciate that show. But the Ordinary show, I wasn't really the biggest fan of that. It was just too repetitive. I didn't really feel invested with the characters. There was no, like, long-term story. It was kind of trash. I didn't like it, even as a kid.
Instruments. And since I'm a musical genius, of course this show would appeal to someone like me. And honestly, I don't remember what they did on this show. Like, they had a ship, they were talking instruments. Dang, I think that's all I remember. I just remember loving it as a kid. And that theme song, you know, that old meme.
Miss Cleveland Brown.
They just don't make them like that no more. But Disney Jr. was a great entertainment and education source.
Okay, I do feel like missed out a little bit because I didn't watch Johnny Bravo. Like, that seems so cool. Like, I know I would low-key be idolizing him if I watched this as a kid. Danny Phantom. Oh my god, we all wanted to be Danny Phantom, bro. Danny Phantom got all the hoes. Bro, it's so easy to, like, entertain little kids. Like, just make the main character cool. Like, make them want to be like the main character. Give him nice hair. That's all you gotta do. Like, how are you failing to entertain little children, bro? Like, most of the time, it's not the storytelling. Little kids could not give less of a crap about the storytelling. You just want to make them feel like, oh my god, this is so cool. Blue Beyblades going really fast. The monsters coming out of them. Like, genuinely, brain dead.
It was a great entertainment and education source for children back then, especially me. But it wasn't my favorite. Moving on to a channel that I liked more as a kid, in terms of baby shows, Nick Jr.
Yo, this is so real. Oh, I have a story for y'all, bro. I can't even lie. This is actually like iPad kid posture. I know there's hella Doritos. There is Doritos on his screen, bro. I have a story for y'all, bro. We had this one kid. I went to like a private school at 3rd grade. Not that I was rich. Like, private school outside like the West like is like basically mandatory. It's a lot cheaper than it usually is like out here. And it's like much more commonplace because public schools are like genuinely garbage. There's no toilet paper. There's no nothing. Like, it's a third world country. They do not give a fuck. But I was with this one kid who you can tell was like more fortunate. Like, his parents were like not more fortunate, but his parents would like spend money on him. You always had that one kid. It was never you. It might have been you if you were spoiled like that. I wouldn't necessarily say spoiled, but I'm talking about like the type of kids whose parents bought them Robux. If your parents bought you Robux, you're part of those people. Like, don't think, oh no, I wasn't spoiled. If your parents bought you Robux, if they spent money on some digital currency for Murder Mystery 2, yeah, but you were spoiled. You had it good. And he was one of those kids, and he was like a bit special. You get what I'm saying? Like, he had like way too much energy. I think he had like mild autism. But what you gotta realize is when I was a little kid, I put the huzz over the bruz. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I had this one girl who I had the biggest crush on. I think I remember her name. Was it like Aya or some shit like that? Bro, she was so hot in my eyes, bro. Like, she was so, like, looking back. What looking back? Okay, pause. I'm like... You don't really know why, but she's just attractive to you, bro. She was like the hottest girl in the whole school in my eyes, bro. And we were invited to this guy's house. He invited us over. The kid whose parents bought him Robux. And this was like one of the first times I ever went to the sleep. I think it was the first time I ever went to a friend's house, bro. Like, I was low-key on some loner shit. I used to be like one of the smartest kids in the school. Like, I was a nerd when I was younger. And then slowly became the absolute opposite of that, like, throughout the years. But in that time period, I was like the #1 in the whole school academically. So we get invited to this guy's house. And I'm like, oh wow. I walk in. First thing I see, literally my crush right in front of me. So I'm like, okay, you get what I'm saying? And then his parents start like getting us like McDonald's. They start like getting us Doritos. They have like on-brand products. I'm like, okay, yeah, these guys like, they're living good, bro. I see he has like 3 different iPads. We go to his room, and on the wall there was like this calendar where you like tick whether you've done them or not. You know, like those parent things where like, oh, he went to the toilet by himself. He took a shower. He studied for 30 minutes. And then there was like a prize at the end. And me and the girl, this was my first time ever interacting with her. We both looked at that schedule on the wall, and she started smiling. And in my mind, I'm going, okay, this is my low-key, my broski. Like, we weren't that close, but this is my dog. Like, I'm in his house. He invited me over. This was the first time I ever had to pick between the huzz or the bruz. And I low-key picked the huzz. I started laughing my ass off, knowing full well I still shit myself. Okay, no. I wasn't shitting myself, but I was like, bro, this isn't that funny. Like, this is actually, like, not sad, but this is just her parenting method. Like, we're little kids as well. Why are we laughing at this? Like, I knew morally it was wrong, but I smiled anyway, because it was the first time ever getting attention from a female in general, bro. And this is why, till this day, I always, like, be careful who you're friends with, because whatever they're missing is something that they're gonna take advantage of. For example, a person who's hungry is much more likely to bite you in the back. A person who's missing money is much more likely to scam you or lie to you. A person who's missing female attention in their life is much more likely to backstab you because of a girl. Or he's much more likely to backstab you for, like, a little attention from a girl who doesn't even know he exists. But hey, you live and you learn, man.
Shows. Nick Jr. Nick Jr. I have a lot more memories of as a kid, even though they had some dookie butt shows like Dora and the more boring Diego, but everything else was pretty good. Wonder Pets was
Loki. Okay, Wonder Pets, get the hell out of here, bro. This is some straight garbage. Damn, Nickelodeon really was just pumping straight trash. Dora was like mid. Dora was like a 3 out of 10. Get this out of here.
pretty lit, although that turtle can go chug a bottle of piss. I still hate turtles. The Backyardigans. Everybody loved this show. And the animals, Tanisha, Pablo, Bart, Jesse, and James. I don't remember their names, but it was such a fun show. You know, the backyard was always transforming and getting new settings like every single episode.
What is this animation, bro? Like, we were clowning Bollywood for like having dudes jumping off of buildings and flying and shit, and like tigers exploding in the background. What is this? Like, I've seen PowerPoints with more graphic animations.
Loved it. My favorite episodes were the jungle episode and the western episode. Max and Ruby. Now, I got mixed feelings on this. I used to watch this show a lot.
Like, I enjoyed the show as a kid, but I didn't really like Max all that much when I was young. I didn't really know any better back then. I just saw him making mud cakes and I was just like, that's gross, there's worms in it, bro. Why are you making that? It wasn't until I got older that I realized that Max was just having fun, man. He was just a young kid just having fun, playing with his toys, making cakes. He was just doing his thing. The real villain of this show.
Nah, but sometimes, like, Peppa Pig was low-key banned in our household for a bit because she was, like, a little too rude to her grandparents and her parents. Like, we came from, like, a very, like, not necessarily traditional, but more like, okay, you show respect to your elders. And when Peppa Pig was like, oh, granddad, you're fat as fuck. Like, we were like, okay, that's a bit...
It was Ruby. I'm not gonna get too in detail because then I'll just be stealing this guy's content. Shout out to him. But let me say this.
If I was in a room with a bow and arrow, with only 2 arrows, and there was me, Ruby. No, I don't even care who else is there. I'm gonna shoot Ruby twice. Blue's Clues was pretty cool too. You know, I like the cat. I like the box characters. My man Steve was drawing like...
See, where does Peppa Pig come in? Because low-key Peppa Pig was never on TV. It was like more of a YouTube thing, but that shit was goated. Like, every little kid had an era. Maybe it's because I lived in the UK for a while, but that shit was like a staple in the household. Like, when there wasn't the news on the TV, it was Peppa Pig. And then it slowly transformed into Bluey. That's the new brain rot.
Picasso with just a crayon. The show was nuts until Steve left to buy some cigarettes. What does the new Steve look like again?
Who the fuck is this?
Peppa Pig. I didn't really watch it because it was British and...
I was more of a Olivia kind of guy.
But I'll admit it, the Peppa Pig album is pretty fire. Like,
Bro.
unironically, it's better than Honestly Trash. And I ain't gonna forget the GOAT. Yo, Gabba Gabba. I didn't really watch it that much, but my brothers loved it, and the characters look nice. Biz Marquis is in like every episode beatboxing, and DJ Lance is so into his character in the show that he's still in his character over 10 years.
Damn, bro. Hey, everyone else grew up, but he stayed the same. All the little kids stopped watching that shit like 10 years ago, homie. Why are you still dressed up like that? Oh my days. Hold on. I just remember Lazy Town. Bro, Lazy Town was like weird. Like, I liked Lazy Town, but looking back, like, why were they moving like that? I don't know. Like, I low-key kind of messed with Lazy Town, but it was more of like the moves, the shock factor. Like, the storytelling itself was buns. And I'm low-key going back on myself, because do puppets count as like costumes? Because obviously Barney and like the Night Garden were hella uncomfortable. Lazy Town, I think, was a little different. Bro, you know there's one guy that looks exactly like the mayor of Lazy Town, that it actually pisses me off that nobody mentions it? Exactly like the mayor of Lazy Town. Hold up. I'm not even trying to shoot shots at this person. Like, I'm saying this right now before I pull up a picture. I don't know anything about you. I bet you're the nicest guy ever, but you look exactly like him. Okay, I am genuinely ashamed by how long it took me to find this. Like, genuinely over 20 minutes. But this motherfucker right here. Hold on, I'll pull up a picture of the mayor of Lazy Town in a bit. Bro, this guy right here. Holy resemblance. It's the same person, bro. Like, holy mother of pearl. Apparently, he has like a hella interesting backstory as well. He was like a part of the US representative, and he got like expelled. I don't know what that's about, but like, mayor of Lazy Town, literally, he was in politics. Now, there's a conspiracy here, bro. I don't know. Something's weird here. Holy uncanny.
After the show ended. So that's dedication right there. But yeah, I ain't really watched this show as a kid. The most I got from it was that one episode from South Park where Fufa became a thought. That's the most I ever got from it. And my personal favorite Nick Jr. show was Little Bill. Now, ignoring the controversies, this show taught me so many things. Like how to talk to girls, how to ask a girl out, and the secret to getting any girl. And thanks to this show, I can say these tips changed my life for the better. Because of
like, look, this right here, this show right here, I don't know what this is. Like, this is the type of show that would come up on like just random ass anime. This is the sort of shit that would come up on the channels back in the day, like when I was a kid. Come up like later after 10. I'm not even gonna lie, I would much rather watch this than anything we've mentioned beforehand.
My life for the better. Because of these tips,
Damn, what TV show is this, bro?
Every time I move into a new home, I have to introduce myself to my female neighbors. And under state law, I basically have to tell them how good I am with the ladies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm the Riz God, all cause of Little Bill. All right, moving on from that, I want to talk about my actual...
Ooh, Caillou, get that little shit out of here, bro. Evil Caillou is low-key. I think that's 10 times more entertaining than the actual Caillou show. I've never even watched it, but I just know it's 10 times more entertaining. Caillou was just so annoying to me. It was so slow-paced. Like, it was just some guy talking to his mother for like 30 minutes.
Favorite shows from back when I was a kindergartner, and back then I was a huge fan of Thomas the Tank Engine. I love this show so much. It's just something about him.
I'm not even saying this to be rude, like you might have autism. Like people say, oh, people who have autism are so into trains and they think it's like a stereotype. No, they're like really, really, really into trains, bro. Like I knew this one guy, he was like heavily autistic. Great guy, but he did have like heavy autism. Bro, he loved trains and Minecraft. Oh my god, those are like the two things, I swear to god. Minecraft and trains. If some guy's obsessed with those two things, I promise you he has like heavy autism.
To this show. Like actually, I owned DVDs, had so many train sets and toys. I even wore Thomas the Tank Engine undies. I was wearing this man on my balls. You cannot tell me I'm a fake fan. You can't call me gay either. He's a train. Let him run a train on me. I really do love Thomas the Tank Engine. I consider it a very big part of my babyhood. I think the reason I like this show so much was cause that it was a very chill show. Nothing would happen in your face. The conflicts would always be in the island of Sodor with the trains doing the task that Sir Toppin Hat would tell them to do. And then a small hiccup happens and then they solve it, learning a lesson maybe in the...
Yo, is the soundtrack in the background gonna get this video copyrighted? Not that I make any money off this channel. I'm not even monetized, but like it's still kind of pissing me off. Like that is so unnecessary. A banger, but like why is there music in the background?
Process. Simple. It was a very simple, chill show, and I like trains.
I
The
see the
interactions
crystal
were always
raindrops.
very sweet, and when they weren't, you know when shit was going down. But they would always make amends at the end. This was a show just trying to tell a simple...
And they played Naruto. I swear there was a channel that played Naruto. Bro, I got so into it that I genuinely think I watched 300 episodes in 2 days. Like, I'm not even kidding. I brought the family TV and I took it over to my room every night, like past 12. And I would just sit there and binge watch the hell out of that show. Like, it's actually so smart to, like, take up a space on TV. Not because the station is paying you for the content. It's because people are gonna get more invested in the show. Like, as a little kid, the shows that I watched are much more likely to finish as an adult or, like, get into as an adult. You can see that with Adventure Time, bro. People go crazy over Adventure Time. I'm talking like 40-year-olds. It does have a good story. Like, as you grow up, it's, like, layered. As a young kid, you don't really know. You don't care about the grand story. You don't care about, like, how the characters are feeling and how they evolve. But as you grow up, there's, like, more and more layers you can uncover. Those are low-key how you immortalize a show, how you make an actual, like, hood classic.
Story each episode. It's not like those other baby shows that would constantly break the fourth wall and just start singing out of nowhere or asking you, do you know what 5 plus 5 is? My favorite color, green. Like, bro, go lick my nut and gargle it, bro. I hate shows like that. Sometimes us kids just want to be entertained like the grown-ups. We don't want to get constantly talked down to
Ooh, this shit. Whatever the hell this was called. Oh my god, it was alright.
in shows. We already get enough of that in real life. Why
Timmy Turner. Oh, Horrid Henry. Horrid Henry you had to go out of your way to watch, though. I don't think it was, like, playing, like, normally on the TV. Horrid Henry was low-key, like, a bad show. Like, it genuinely, like, promoted being a bad kid, low-key. Like, if you were a bully or you were, like, a menace or you're in jail right now, I know you watched Horrid Henry as a kid. The Purple Hand Gang, like, genuinely, I was watching Gang Activity at 12.
I hate shows like that. Sometimes us kids just want to be entertained like the grown-ups. We don't want to get constantly talked down to in shows. We already get enough of that in
And then the fairy godmother, Timmy Turner, I think his name was. That was a banger, low-key.
real life. Why would we want that in our entertainment? And Thomas did have learning segments where they would ask us kids questions, but it would be in between episodes. Not the actual episode would have it. It would never get in the way of the actual plot of the episode. This is why I kind of liked Arthur as a kid too. Cause it ain't interrupt you in the middle of the episode with random questions. We was just enjoying ourselves, learning not to swear, and definitely not wanting to learn how to knit.
No, I'm not.
Well, what? See, I've seen this clip before, but I've seen it way too many times for it to be edited. Like, was this actually part of it?
To learn how to knit.
Yeah. Let's get a VR on that, bro.
To learn how to knit.
Yeah, they're wildin', bro. How did this go past, like, the thought process? Like, someone actually wrote the script and was like, one letter off, that's good enough.
Knit.
No, I'm not a knitter.
Arthur was great. I still don't understand that racism episode though. I thought it was just animals in this universe, but black people exist too apparently and get unfair treatment from the police. But there was no other races that were mentioned, so is it the animals that are the ones being racist? Is it just black people and animals in this universe? What does an interracial baby look like? Okay, I'm gonna stop asking questions. Back to Thomas. I also love how this show only has a narrator. Narrating and doing every voice in this show. I loved it. It made the show feel more common and soothing. I even remember when Alec Baldwin was the narrator.
I never realized how weird of a show it was. Like, those faces look so uncanny. Nothing about them looks natural. Like, we'd look at our grandparents and like those dolls they used to have and the dolls they used to sell back in the day, and we'd be like, yo, this is creepy. Yeah, kids are gonna look back at the TV shows we watched and they're gonna be like, bro, we were so like desensitized. Like, grown-ups would be scared of this content. Like, why do they look so scary?
For season 5, he was great too. You just had to wear a bulletproof vest every time you watched the show. Not to mention the music. It's out of this world. It has no reason to being that great. And it wasn't just a few good ones here and there, you know, a few good bops. No. Every single one. I'm serious too. Every song sounds like it could be one of those classic Disney songs from back in the day. They just are so catchy and so good to sing along to. And accidents will happen. One of the greatest songs of all time, top 100, not even fibbing. Listen to it yourself. It's like in 1984 when the show was created. The music team for this show was like, yo, let's only...
Now, you're trying too hard. You're being too performative, bro. Like, you are not that big of a man of culture to be listening to Thomas the Tank Engine soundtracks. You are tripping, bro. The Ninjago. Oh, what's that one Lego show where they had, like, that lion who was, like, speeding within his, like, car and shit? That was tough. That was tough. All the Lego TV shows were gas. I'm not even gonna lie. But Lego Ninjago was, like, a tier above everything else.
He dropped classics for the next 20 years. Like, we're Kanye West or something. And the whole team responded, who the hell is Kanye West? But they did it anyway. These guys deserve all the Grammys. And that iconic intro. Nobody has forgotten that. This is genuinely one of the...
Yo, hot take, gay artists are like more likely to be good than non-gay artists. We're talking Lil Nas, bro. Stop lying, bro. Lil Nas has some straight bangers. Like, do not be sat there silently judging me because I'm playing Lil Nas. That's just low-key gas. Industry, baby. Montero, okay, Montero's like, it's low-key a good song, but it's like there's so much controversy around it where like I kind of get what you're talking about. But Panini, ooh. And then the guy who was like, I'm still standing. Top 10 songs of all time. I'm not even gonna cap. Elton John. Who else, bro? Sam Smith. Oh my days, bro. Sam Smith does not miss. And Willow. I think Willow's like a lesbian. I'm not really sure though. She's underrated, bro. Like, she's not Will Smith's daughter anymore, bro. Like, she's actually like her own person. Like, her music's actually gas.
Greatest kid shows of all time. The amount of nostalgia and pure bliss and joy I get from this show. Oh man, it cannot be matched. This show is amazing. It is fantastic. Or should I say, was. Because as soon as they went CGI, it was downhill. And only downhill. I was appalled when they switched to style. This happened back in 2009 when I was 6 turning 7. And even back then I hated it. I was all like, why are their mouths moving now? Why are the people moving? Why do they have their own voices? It changed so much.
See, this is the one I remember, low-key. This guy's Unk, bro. The ones where they didn't have their mouths moving, that sounds so dookie. Like, this looks a lot more like a kid's TV show. The other one was like uncanny as hell, like straight horror movie content.
I avoided this new version every time I saw it on TV. I missed it when they were actual toys and it was in reality. This is just weird. It's unnatural seeing them like this. I always hated when kids shows would switch their style just to look more modern. Just look at Bob the Builder. For years he was looking good. He was looking nice because he was in stop motion. Look at Bob go. Woo! Okay, let's see what Bob the Builder looks like now.
Boots check, tool belt check, hard hat check.
Bro, you gotta realize they're competing against Skibbity Toilet. Like, they need to modernize. Like, yeah, what you would have watched back in the past, I promise you would not be watching Bob the Builder if you had the TV shows they had nowadays. Like, yeah, having them look less uncanny and more, like, alive and vibrant is gonna make little kids click on the video. Like, you gotta modernize, bro. Like, it's evolving, gang. Damn, who is this?
Who the hell is that? That is definitely not Bob. That dude's name is Bertram. That is not Bob. That is not the same man that I knew from my childhood. This is not my Bob.
Ooh, the Naruto anime soundtrack in the background when there was like a sad scene. Stop playing with me. Maybe the best soundtrack in all of media, bro. The Naruto. Bluebird. I remember being a kid, bro, and like the teacher was like getting recommendations to like put music, and I said Bluebird. It was so corny. I can't even, like, I was on some weeb shit, bro. Like looking back, it wasn't that good. But we just had Bluebird playing in a classroom full of 30 kids who don't even know what anime is. It was corny as hell, just some Japanese woman singing. But I ain't even gonna cap. I wasn't the corniest one there. Some guy said, let's put on some Dar Man. Like, I'm not kidding. And it was the same kid that used to like low-key micro bully me, bro. Like, if I ever meet you now, I know how to clown you, gang. Like, I'm a weeb, but you're a Dar Man enjoyer. No hate on Dar Man, bro. Getting that bag.
They doing the same thing with Thomas. It's horrifying. And that ain't even the worst of it. You know the music? How I said it was one of the best songs of all time, you know, it should win all the BET Hip Hop Awards. It's so ass now. Oh my goodness. They changed the whole vibes of the songs, bro. It sounds so terrible, man. It used to be a choir of kids singing, and now it's just... Listen to this.
A special day with all your friends. Seems like it will never end.
This is trash. Who thought of this, bro?
Yo, I can't wait until like kids TV shows start implementing AI music. I know it's bound to happen, bro. Like, it's already straight trash. Like, they have to create 3 new songs for every episode. Yeah, a lot of people are gonna get fired, bro. It's already looking bad for people who graduate with the music degrees or art degrees, bro. Like, you're all losing your jobs. I'm not even gonna cap. The marketplace was already horrific. Now it's gonna be even worse because even the kids shows don't need you anymore.
And the new intro is even worse, man. Listen.
Let's go, go, go on a big world adventure.
This is not Thomas sounding music. This shit sound like Paw Patrol, bro. I can't believe they massacred Tony like this, bro. And this is not the reason why I wore you on my balls, man. This is not the show I used to love and enjoy. Stop trying to appease to these kids and appease to me. A grown-ass man. Appeal to me. They ruined it, man. They ruined it. They really turned Thomas the Tank Engine into that freaking bootleg rip-off Thomas the Tank Engine Chuggington. This is honestly one of the worst things ever.
Yo, do kids, like, as you grow up, did we all have autism as little kids? Why is there 3 different shows about trains? Like, trains are not that cool, twin. Like, I think as you grow up, you, like, slowly, like, get rid of your autism. What am I saying? I am not a doctor, bro. I'm an idiot talking out my ass right now. Yeah.
What happened in humanity. And since I'm over here whining about this children's show, let me talk about one final show.
Oh yeah, kids nowadays are like watching the same content as like 30-year-olds. Euphoria and shit, and like all these Netflix shows. Bro, if you're under the age of 18, you shouldn't be watching that. Like, it's straight brain rot. It's all it does is just try push an agenda, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you need to get funding one way or another, and if you're gonna get funding by people who just want to push a narrative, then sure, bro, like, I don't blame you. You're trying to get that bag, you're trying to push out content to your platform. And if it's good content, I can like kind of ignore the propaganda for a little bit. But people that are under 18 really can't. They're just gonna see, monkey do.
Real quick. A show that I only remember watching once in my childhood, but that one time alone left a scar that still remains to this day.
Please say The Night Garden, bro. That shit was
I was
uncanny.
in elementary school, staying up a little late one night.
Ooh, this horror movie, bro. This was like the first horror movie I ever watched and the last horror movie I ever watched throughout. Like, it was actually low-key terrifying as a little jit. Like, I'm the type of guy who can't play Five Nights at Freddy's because I'm too scared. I just don't need all that negative energy in my life, twin. Like, I watched The Invisible Man. You know the scene where he goes up to the window and like bangs on it? Yeah, I saw that and I clicked off. I genuinely could not watch it. Like, even though I was 10 minutes in, I just clicked off. This right here was probably the scariest thing I watched throughout. This little kid's show. I'm not playing.
And on a TV, it was on Nick Jr. 24/7 baby content playing all the time. And at around midnight, this new show came on. It was called Ubi. This show was a hand puppet show, but unlike Sesame Street or any other hand puppet show, it was just hands.
Y'all don't realize how old Sesame Street is. Your granddad was watching Sesame Street. Like, obviously they've kind of adapted, but it's the same IP. And it's like the biggest load of trash, biggest load of barnacles I've ever watched. If it's not cartoons or anime, I ain't watching, bro.
Show.
Power Rangers. Ooh, Power Rangers gets the pass low-key. Because they weren't in like they were in costumes, but they weren't like trying to act like they're bears or some shit. Power Rangers was low-key tough.
Give me alright, I'm gonna cut the bullshit. The show ain't even that scary. I don't even know why I found this show scary as a kid. It's just hand puppets. Maybe it's their creepy eyes, I don't know. But I'm not gonna try to hype it up to be like scary. I'm gonna sound like one of those like SpongeBob theory channels or whatever. It's also because this show made me raise a lot of questions. Like,
How did they eat? How do they swallow their food? Where does it go? How do they use the bathroom? Do they have holes? How do they fight? How are their eyes attached to their hands? How do they...
Okay, how do they fight is pretty simple. Like, throwing punches, bro? Like, what do you mean, how do they fight? But where the food goes, yeah, I'm interested in that as well.
Put on rings. When they high-five each other, did they just kiss? Did they just have intercourse on screen? How do they even do it in this universe? And if they do it, do they wear gloves for protection? If so, how do they wear the gloves? Wouldn't that just cover their eyes? Where do their bodies end? There's actual people in this universe. What do they see below their hands? How do they drive?
Ooh, I know being a kid like that and like going through that must be like low-key kind of traumatizing. I wouldn't say traumatizing, but like definitely like you're not a normal person anymore. If you were on like a kid's TV show or like a kid's YouTube channel, oh hell no. Yeah, your brain has been like dissolved. Like your neurons are like no longer active. I had one kid in my class. He was like a kid's model, and most of the time they don't see a drop of that money. It goes straight to the parents. Like it's actually quite sad. But low-key, if I had the opportunity to, I would love to, man. I went through a phase when I was like younger. I would say like 6 to 10 where I wanted to be an actor so bad. I would like tell my parents, yo, like let's go to this audition or this audition. I was low-key a great actor. Like I would have been a great child actor. But the thing is with acting, it's more about the way you look and how marketable you are than anything. Like it's not really about how well you act. Like there's a lot better actors than Dwayne The Rock Johnson or Leonardo DiCaprio, even though they're like, oh my god, they're such good actors. Timothy Chalamet, I bet you there's hundreds of better actors in Hollywood right now. Why does he get picked? Because of his profile. Okay, he matches the role a little better. He would be a lot easier to market. Like I'm sure there's other buff guys that are better at acting than Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but Dwayne The Rock Johnson gets people to watch the movie. Not just because he's a good actor, but because of the history he's built up, because of the marketing that goes around him. Like there's so much more to it than you think. Same thing with musicians, but I've said that like 100 times, bro. Musicians, it doesn't matter how good your music is to be a popular musician at all. It's everything else.
Drive cars in this universe? What is pushing the gas pedal? How does anything get done in this universe? I didn't like how many questions this show had me asking. That one time I watched this show was a life-changing and threatening experience for me as a child. And I hope no kid had to experience the nightmares I did because of this show.
Wild.
I've grown a lot since I was a jit. I'm never saying that again. I've grown in hair, length, size, but most importantly, I've grown in mind. And I don't think I would be the person I am today if it weren't for these children's shows. Well, mostly only Thomas.
Yo, hot take, if you're a guy with gyno, you should be wearing breasts. Or if you're a guy with like hella big pecs, either way you should be wearing breasts. Like I'm not discriminating. Like if you got too much up here, like it's only fair. Like well, that's low-key borderline sexism now. But that would also mean that like girls that are like don't have as much up there can like just walk around without a shirt on. Like I mean that is kind of, I'm being a hypocrite. You know what I think? Everyone should be able to wear whatever they want, bro. But at the same time, do I think little kids should be seeing that? Like no. I don't know, bro. Why am I getting into a political debate? But tell me what y'all think about that for real though. Because if like the world was like full of adults, I'd say hey, walk around wearing literally whatever you want or nothing. But for little kids, I think it's just as traumatizing seeing a man without a shirt on, especially if you're like got full-on honkers up there, bro. Yeah, I don't know, this is a weird conversation, bro.
Little bit, but the rest were here too. If I forgot to mention a show, I just didn't watch it as a kid. That's just the way it turned out for me. I love reminiscing about old times and old childhood memories. It makes me feel less old. And since we're towards the end of the video, I did not expect this video to be as long as it is, but that just shows how dedicated I am to this topic. And in conclusion, free Bill Cosby. It starts with
W video, man. Hey, if you guys enjoyed, subscribe. I post bangers like this every day, and yeah, see ya.